Bianca. Welcome to you both.
How's it going?
Cats one.
Hello.
Is there a better? Hello, Bianca. Let's get your first, thoughts first, Bianca. Who were your favourite players, and how good is it to beat Hawthorn?
Really good to beat Hawthorn, and I think someone who's really stood up, and it's been hard for him to get. I think this was probably his best game for the year. Sam DeConing.
Yes.
2 goals.
Yes.
Won the ruck tap. I think that's the best game he's played for the season.
Did you like his?
Sure, it just helped out midfield a lot when Paddy came out subbed off, and forwards Shannon Neal. He took so many good marks. He just replaced Tom Hawkins.
Oh, really? Do you think we're better with Shannon Neal or Tom Hawkins?
Interesting. I'll have to think about that.
A few more. I'll ask you that question in 2 more weeks' time. I think I would still take Tommy Hawkins next week if he was fit again. But I have said to myself, I need to think about this if Shannon Neal keeps playing well for a month of footy. It's going to be hard to make way. Clearly he'll make way for Tom Hawkins, but it will be difficult. Brendan, I'll go to you. Tell me what your thoughts on the game were tonight.
It's always great to beat Hawthorn, isn't it? You just absolutely love it. But
it's like the jam on a cream scone. It's beautiful. It's the sweetness. It's so nice.
So good to beat him at home as well at GMHBA Stadium. Thought we absolutely dominated tonight. It could have been so much better. We could have really done some serious damage tonight if we kicked straight.
Not really kick straight, but he still got 4 goals.
Just going forward, sometimes we just overused it. We had it a bit too easy and just went 1 or 2 handballs too many, and then just didn't kick straight. But you can't be greedy, I suppose. I mean, so awesome to see. Tom Stewart's almost like what's the word? Like recreated himself with this new role, and now all of a sudden teams can't work him out again.
11 marks for Tom Stewart tonight and 5 tackles in there as well. Gets a stack of it. He'll get 25 touches every week if he goes through the midfield.
Yeah. He looks good too. He looks like he's a big boy in there. Like, I love it. And then just like when they're not suspecting it, they throw him back and it just throws everything out of whack. So I love it. So that's really, really good. And who else was there? Ollie Dempsey again, just doing what he does. 10 disposals first quarter.
How about Lawson Humphrey?
And you can say it.
Can I tell you a fun fact?
Yes, you can.
Lawson Humphrey spends at the start of every quarter, Lawson Humphreys is on the bench.
That's true. I noticed that actually. Yeah. They maybe let their older players, because maybe they've got big egos and they need to be on the ground and it's important. But I don't think it really matters, does it? Who starts on the ground? Everyone plays pretty much the same amount anyway. So maybe it's important to get the first possession, and maybe they think some of the older boys will be better at that. I don't know. What did you think about Brad Close?
4 goals.
Yeah. All the forwards were pretty dangerous tonight, pretty exciting. Geez. I don't want to overstate it. We looked really good tonight. It's crazy.
Overstated as much as
just
where has this been?
Yeah, last few weeks, it was just wow. And Manor, just these pressure was just insane. He doesn't want to go back out. He doesn't want to go back to the VFL. You could see the way he was playing today, just going after it. And I'm excited about next week.
I felt bad for Mitch Nevitt. He was called up the coaches. Said he was a bit sick or something, didn't he? Yeah, so didn't get to play. But he deserved to play this week. 100% he deserved to play. He just, unfortunately, bit of bad luck. Hopefully he gets a chance.
He was replaced by Jai Clark, who had 18 disposals as well. So he didn't. Yep. This is good. They don't want to go out when they get in their spot. Tonight they were we don't want to go back to, even though VFL's playing really well and you might win a flag, you want to play in the AFL. And we'll definitely be going to bed well tonight, sleeping well tonight.
I'm
I
watching
don't
the
think
replay.
watch the replay. I think there'll be a few people watching the replay tonight. I think our little routine at home is to have brekkie, have some Wheat Bix in the morning, put the heater on, and watch the replay with a nice cup of coffee. That'll be the way to go for us in the morning. I'll enjoy having a chat with you guys and everyone else tonight, and then I'll go. I've already watched the highlights, Bianca. I've done that for sure, and looked at all the stats. But yeah, that's a normal Sunday morning routine or day after game routine for me. Who else played tonight? Let's talk about Jeremy Cameron. Who wants to talk about Jeremy Cameron? Bianca, you go.
Did not kick straight in
No.
the start. 3 behinds, the first 3 behinds of the game.
He was getting a lot of it though, wasn't he? He was and the Cats were his teammates were kicking it to him really well. They were always finding him on a lead. He just seemed to have a lot of energy tonight, but just didn't have the accuracy. What did you reckon, Brendan? How'd you rate his game tonight? I mean, you clearly see he kicked 6 goals, nothing. He's getting 15 Brownlow votes tonight, but he wasn't quite there.
34.
He had it on a string. He could have had it like I said, he could have done some serious damage tonight. He finished with 4. He could have finished with a lot more. They all look great tonight. I don't think we had a bad. Did we have a bad player? I don't think we had a bad player tonight. Really?
No. I'll bring up the graphic of the result. Hopefully, you can see that on the screen as well.
There we had,
Shannon Neal, 2 goals, 2. Close, he can't miss. He doesn't miss. Mitch Duncan gets stacks of it, but I'm probably not his biggest fan. Not the last couple of years anyway, but I'm probably on my own there. But Bose as well, yeah. I didn't see him get a lot of it, but big clap for Bose, you reckon?
Just gets his hands on it.
Did you think anyone at Hawthorn played well?
Dylan Moore.
I don't even know who Moore is. I know Warple looked all right.
Yeah, Warple was pretty good. A nice goal.
He might want to come back home at some point.
Who was that, sorry?
Warple, because he's a Geelong Falcon.
That's right.
He was a Geelong supporter, actually. So I think he might want to come home.
If there's room after we get Harley Reid and Bailey Smith and all that, if we've got room, maybe we'll have him. We'll
take up the matches.
I want to ask you some final thoughts on the game, but then I want Bianca. I want you to give me your thoughts on the rest of the next few weeks because we've got a tough game next week. But final thoughts on the game tonight. Anyone?
Yeah. You want to go first?
A+. Just next time, pull the trigger. I want to see us just finish our work a bit better than we did tonight. And that's it. There's no complaints. You can't get. I'm speechless. How well we played. The only thing I can say is we didn't kick straight and just overused it a little bit. Other than that, I'm wrapped. I just wanted to win tonight. I walked in going, I just want to beat Hawthorn. I don't want to lose to Hawthorn. And then you just get greedy. You go, oh, wow. But I'm probably the happiest I've been all year. So we beat them twice.
We have.
Well, last time we bet them by 36, I think. This time we bet them by 51. Almost double.
I think they've beaten us 10 times since that grand final in 2008. We might have beaten them about 22 times. So, clearly they won all those grand finals for a few years there. But either side of that, I think we've had the wood on them pretty well. What about next week, though? We've got Collingwood next week, Bianca. Possibly they've got a good player that might miss. What's his name? Brody Myercheck. I got that right? Yep. I think he could be out with a torn pectoral muscle. I think it's
out for the season. Yeah.
So he's a player that doesn't get a lot of love from the AFL world, but he's not like Jeremy Cameron or anything like that. But he's a very, very good forward, and he really works well with that Collingwood forward line. Do you think you'll go to this game, Bianca, or if you're not going, how do you at least feel about our chances against Collingwood, who are the reigning premiers from last year?
It's a 50-50 game. Well, because there's Bobby Hill, where I think we need Jack Henry maybe, or someone maybe Z-Bang to go on there, Zach Guthrie, because Bobby Hill just keeps taking marks. But on the other side of the ground, you have Jeremy Howe. We need Scratch O'Neill to take a mark over Jeremy Howe just to help us, because Jeremy Howe takes like 10 marks every game.
He needs to take one. He needs to take a mark like right on his shoulders, like when all the cameras all the flashes of the camera go off at the right time, and then Jeremy Howe's just looking up at him. It's like, oh.
I reckon we
There's a knee in the back of my head
on Bobby Hill. I reckon we just chuck Lawson Humphreys on Bobby Hill. Just let him give him a bath.
Oh. I want to ask you about Lawson Humphreys, but I'm going to save it for someone else because someone will cover him. But let us know in the chat what you think of Lawson Humphreys' game tonight. Expand a little bit about on that. For what it's worth, I think the Cats are going to smash Collingwood by 40 points plus, 40 plus next week. I'm back on board, and I'm completely off the Collingwood train. I don't know. Maybe if there's any neutrals in the chat that think otherwise or want to share your thoughts on that. I just think Collingwood's really lost a plot in the last month. I don't know what's going on down there.
How do you?
And the Giants just beat Carlton as well.
Whoop whoop!
Wow.
How do you think the Bulldogs game is going to go between us and Bulldogs? How do you think that's going to go?
Well, if I ask my good friend Paul, who teaches maths and probably talks a bit about probability and things like that, well, the Cats just never lose to the Bulldogs. So I think you've always got to be confident in a Cats win there. I can't remember the last time. We probably have lost, but no, we tend to always beat them, Bianca, especially at GMHBA Stadium. When was the last time we lost to them at GMHBA? I reckon I was about 6 months old. No, it's probably not that long ago, but they don't play very well at home, Bianca. So I'm supremely confident about that one. And do you know what's even more exciting, Bianca? We get to wear the retro uniform. We get to wear the retro. Yes, tell me about it. Come on.
Retro cards.
How good is it? Retro cards, yes, retro cards, and the collar. We're going to pop the collar. Hey. Ooh, hey.
I remember Ollie Dempsey wearing that. There's like a photo that I always see of him. I think it's at GMHBA Stadium. Of him wearing the collar.
That's right. There's one of Tanner Bruin who's kicked a goal, and Tom Atkins is jumping on his back, and Tanner Bruin's like, yeah. That's a nice one. I'll have to try and get one a bit later and post that one.
Oh yeah.
So
tell me.
At the footy, I ran into someone, and he told me to tell you his name. It was Darren Gilmore.
Darren Gilmore, yes, we've had him on before. Hello, Darren, if you're watching live.
He's jump on. Kicking the ball outside the ground. He goes, "Are you Bianca from the Hoop Show?" She's like, yes. He's like, "Are you going to go on the Hoop Show tonight?" And she's like, "Yeah, you have to give me a shout out tonight." I'm like,
"Oh, that's nice."
She wrote his name down. She had it written down over there, so she made sure she gave him a shout out.
Bianca, I've got a funny story too. It's the first time someone's ever come up to me at the game and said, "Oh, you the guy from the Hoop Show?" And I said, "Yeah." I didn't know the guy's name, but if he is watching, say hi in the chat if you can. But no, that's always nice to see some people that watch the show. Thank you guys for coming on. Enjoy this win. Bianca, enjoy the replay. Don't be afraid to watch it more than once. And hopefully we'll see you next week, Bianca, after it's going to be a late night, though, after the Collingwood game, up in Melbourne too. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of Cats fans getting home late and maybe driving or on the train or something like that. But enjoy your week, the both of you, and go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats. Thank you to those guys. All right, I'm going to read through a couple of comments in the chat. I've got Either Moment says, "Let's not get too carried away. Pies match up well against us. Got to be professional." Thank you. I think I figured out what you meant. Professional. Very good. All right. Sports fan says, "Last time we lost to the Dogs, it was the Harry Taylor miss." That was a while ago. Harry Taylor was running around. Yeah, that was quite a while ago now. But anyway, who else we got? Jesselenko. Stewie looked good through the guts, didn't he? He looked fantastic through the middle tonight. Let's keep him in the middle. We do have to think about the matchups. But yes, no my check for Collingwood next week. See, we're a professional club. We're a professional podcast. We've already moved on to the Collingwood game. because, we don't dwell on the past. We are reviewing the game, so we will bring it back to the Hawks in a minute. All right, let's get our next guest on, Kiwi, my good mate from Adelaide or thereabouts. I think he's in town somewhere, but I'll bring him on. Here he is. Hello, sir.
Ben, how are we, mate?
Go the Mighty Catters.
Oh, go the Mighty Catters. Beat the Hawks. Doesn't get better than that. And on our home deck as well. I'm just absolutely over the moon. It's nothing better than that. I'll give you my thoughts. I thought Tom Stewart just looks absolutely rejuvenated through the midfield. I think it's probably one of the best moves the coaches have done this year. Sam De Koning, I wasn't a fan in the ruck in the first place, but he's starting to get better and better. Kicked 2 goals as well, and I just feel like he's just turned a corner. I just think he's turned a corner as well. He could be anything. Maybe he could be like that next Mark Blitzarves sort of role. Could play anywhere across the ground, not just down back, but also up forward in the midfield. Sean Manor, man, I've been calling this guy for so many weeks. 14 tackles, the forward pressure, which we've been crying out for weeks, mate. You got to pick this guy again for next week. And as I said previously, he played like he wants to stay in the AFL side as well.
You can't drop him. You cannot drop the guy after that. That is exactly what the coaches would have told him to do. And if you had to kick 2 goals, what do you think? He missed a couple of shots on goal.
Yeah.
Goodness me, we would be having a happy meltdown. Not a happy melt. We would be. I would be lost for words. But he'll be in the votes. He will be in the votes. I can guarantee you that. I will. For those that do follow the Hoops crew on Twitter, we'll post the poll for Roll of Honor. We do a little Roll of Honor every week, so I'll post that probably as I finish the show tonight. But I think we've got to have Sean Manor in that. Do you think we should put him in there? I reckon we should.
Oh, absolutely. He had the 20 disposals, but the 14 tackles, which just stands out. And also a special shout out to SA Pride here, Brad Close. I think with the 4 goals, and out of his 14 disposals, he just looked deadly up forward as well, alongside with Jeremy Cameron. It's just great to see Brad Close going back to his best footy, because it's been a bit quiet throughout the year. But I just want to see more of that from Bradley as well. It's great to have the long sleeve assassin at the back.
Do you know what I noticed about Brad tonight? And they look nothing like each other. One looks like Gomez from the Addams family, and then you've got the other guy. The other guy's Paul Chapman, who's probably Uncle Fester. Are they set the same show? I think it is. It's been a while. But the way they just turn a corner and bend it around their shoulder, and it's you make one wrong move, choose the wrong direction, and the opponent's on you. Closey and Chappie seem just to know what to do. It's just this thing that's in instinct within him. And a couple of times tonight, I'm like, that just reminded me of Paul Chapman. And again, it's like, how good was that, man? Chappie was kicking him from 30 metres out or something like that around the corner. But Closey, anywhere near goal, if he gets his hand on the ball and it's a clean possession, you can almost guarantee he's handing it off to someone for a goal, or he's kicking it himself. He's just that was a fantastic game from him. Another one who may be in the votes, possibly. Can I leave him out? That's the bigger question. Ooh.
To me. I'm gonna say. I think another mention to Gary Rowan, his 200th game. The two goals, he just looked absolutely electric in the first half, and he's one of those guys where he doesn't need to get much of the ball. Only had the 12 disposals, but he just made every possession count. And I said to Paul last week, got to put him in for a full game. Should not put him as the sub. But even when he doesn't get the ball, it's just like his presence around the ground, like the forward structure just functions just like so well. And honestly, I'll give him a contract, another year, another contract. Because,
really?
Hopefully he stays on the park as well. But he's just such an important player for us too. criminally underrated.
Oh, I guess probably overall the older guys tonight were pretty good. I thought. What did you think of Tui's game tonight? It was for me. It was a little bit down on last week, but I was okay still.
Yeah. No, I thought Tui was. I probably agree with you with that as well, Ben. I thought Tui a bit quiet from his stance, but I thought he did a good shift. Because a lot of the other players did their part, like Jake Kolajasny, Jack Henry, who's turned a corner as well. I thought, if Zach Tui can keep doing what he's doing, then I thought he put a decent shift today.
Now, I'm assuming you were watching on the telly and probably listening to the commentary. You mentioned Jake Kolajasny. I'll never get it right. He's only been playing for 10 years at the club. But he was involved in an incident late where he collided with, I think it was Mitch Lewis, who was down for several minutes, went off the ground. And I watched the replay of that tonight, and I thought, oh, he may be in some trouble. I don't think it was an intentional thing, what he did. But he was a little bit careless. It was high, and there was a severe impact, or whatever the higher grading is there. Did you see that, and did you hear any commentary about that in regards to Special K?
I think, that's news to me actually, because I thought, look, it was an unfortunate accident, with Kolajasny's arm on Lewis. I mean, just have to wait for the next couple of days to see what they think. But no, I didn't hear any of the commentary. Probably my mind was in another place, about to celebrate the win.
Happy land.
Those pricks.
What was the commentary about Jeremy Cameron? I don't know if you saw this as well, but he was getting his fingers looked at. He was holding that and towards the end of the game and didn't want to come off, but was in a bit of pain with some fingers. And after the game, running around high-fiving kids with his opposite hand, looking a bit uncomfortable, but not really wanting to do anything there. How did that look? Was there anything said about his hand or his fingers or whatever it was?
No, not really. Although I heard a bit of commentary when he came off, I think it was, what was it, in the third quarter or first or second quarter? Like when he had that ankle.
He was definitely struggling with it late anyway, but yeah. Then the ankle was a bit banged up, but kind of think we need him.
I thought, gee whiz, I thought to myself, just take it easy on the farm tomorrow, Jizzle. We need you against Collingwood, mate.
Exactly. What do you think of Sam De Conning's banana kick for goal there? 2 goals, most goals ever for him.
Yeah, from there I thought he's the better De Coning brother for a reason. Yeah, that check side goal over there. As said before, put him anywhere around the ground. I just think his confidence is just it's just off the charts at the moment. I think if we play him in the midfield, up forward, it just supports the team as well. And also like to add Shannon Neal as well. I thought who was very good too. Kicked the 2 goals and I think he will be the replacement for Tom Hawkins. And in regards to Tom Hawkins, it's very tough for me to say, and I'm probably gonna cop flack over this, but I love Tom Hawkins. I love the man. He's my all-time favourite player. But
there's a but.
I think if we give Hawkins a farewell game, round 24 against West Coast. And then that's it. Just okay. Like what we did.
I'm going to stop you.
Okay.
I'm going to stop you. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm going to stop you, mate. I'm going to ask you a follow-up question.
All right.
Cats somehow finished top 4, and we've given Hawkins a farewell game in round 24. We're playing qualifying final. Are you still not letting Hawkins play in that qualifying final? You're gonna back in at this very early stage, Shannon Neal. I think I'm not there yet, personally, but I definitely am interested to hear what Cats fans think about this.
I just think at this moment, I feel like Shannon Neal is probably the best option, and it hurts for me to say, but I feel like having Tom Hawkins out the last couple of weeks, I feel like our forward line's just been functioning a lot better, and I think it's probably going to be a situation where it's going to be like Cam Mooney in 2011. I think Chris Scott might have that meeting with Tom saying, look, we love you, but we're going to have to pick Shannon Neal in the finals and all of that. Thank you for your service, but it's time. But thank you. But that's how I see it at the moment. I hope he ends up with another premiership medal around his neck and a Norm Smith. But that's just how I'm seeing it at this moment, Ben, because I feel like our forward line at the moment is just looking a lot better with Shan Neal and our small and medium sized forwards too. But having said that, I'd love to see Tom Hawkins cap off another fairy tale finish, but just got to be realistic at the same time. That's how I'm seeing it at the moment.
Interesting. I will probably add to your comments there and say I won't say Neil's got Hawkins covered yet, but you mentioned the forward line looks better with Neil rather than Hawkins. And for me, I think that's because Neil covers a lot more ground. He's a bit faster. He's a bit more mobile, agile, all that sort of stuff. It spreads the defenders a little bit more. Now, I'm not a footy analyst or anything like that. The chaps are generally better at that stuff than I am. But the way I'm just seeing, it's like, oh, okay, so you've got this big bloke who's not only covering the ground a lot more, but is getting up vertically as well.
Yeah.
So there's a threat from that side of things as well. He's not as, he's not as predictable to his teammates. There's a chaos element there. Clearly, he's not as reliable in front of the sticks. If he kicks a couple of goals a game, that's great. We'll take that. If he kicks 20 goals over the next 10 weeks, I'll take that 100% for a developing forward. We didn't ask Tom Hawkins to do anything more than that in his third or fourth year. So why should we expect Shannon Neal to be a behemoth, Coleman medal winning type forward? So I just think that the Cats it's a very small sample size, mate, but the last couple of weeks, just the way that ball's moving around the forward line, and then you've these other elements you've added in, like Gary Rowan's just absolutely flying at the moment. Brad Close pops up and plays his best game of the year tonight. Sean Manor comes in and has a lazy 14 tackles as a pressure forward. Things are clicking. We can get carried away, but I just feel like the smalls and the mediums have a lot more room to move when it comes in there because Tommy's sort of just planted really, and even when he goes for a run, he's not quite getting that space that he once got, or he's not getting out on those, so he's not demanding the footy as much anymore as well. He's still doing a lot of things probably that we're not seeing, but anyway, that's how I'm looking at it. Maybe I'm completely off my rocker, but that's just, and again, I'm not a footy analyst at all. But
I could be too. I'm sure I'm going to have a few fellow Cat supporters. I'm going to get knocked open about this stuff, but that's how I'm seeing it at the moment. Again, I'm Tom Hawkins. He's an all-time club legend. I'm not pushing him right away, but yeah, that's how I see it at the moment. But I love you, Tommy.
It was tough when Mooney had to make that call, and I know Darren Milburn probably didn't. He was in the same situation. Both of those guys finished up at the same time, and I think Dasher Milburn wanted to keep playing, and unfortunately the decision was made for him. He wasn't selected at least anyway, and Mooney just probably was honest with himself and realised he was cooked or gassed or whatever the term he used at the time.
he said he was cooked off. His body was cooked.
And Hawkins probably wasn't ready. None of us thought Hawkins was ready in 2011.
No.
It was all Podsy Adley was killing it, and he was the main guy. And then Tommy Hawkins was like, "Oh, come on, Tom! If you kick a couple of goals, we'll be happy." And if you just hold your own, and then he absolutely blitzed that game. So, look, hopefully Tommy gets back. I think there's still a big question mark for me as to whether he gets back. If there's a hiccup or two. But wouldn't it be great, mate, if we could see Tommy roll out a couple more times this year in the home and away? We'll see what happens. Maybe he'll have a game with Shannon Neal and Jezza gets a rest in round 24. We'll see. Hopefully we can keep Shannon Neal going a little bit longer. Any other names you want to mention? Who haven't we talked about? Can we talk about Lawson Humphreys a little bit?
Absolutely. I thought Lawson Humphreys was brilliant. He just looked very calm, very composed. Like his fourth quarter was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was brilliant today. And again, he's one of those players we should absolutely keep in the side. And he's really good off half back with Mitch Duncan too, because I thought he was going to be like the replacement for Duncan, but
Me too.
he was good. He was really good. Partnership with Mitch Duncan as well.
17 touches, 14 of those were kicks. So I was someone asked me who's the best. I think it was an AFL post on Twitter or something. Who's the best kick in the comp? And I jokingly said Lawson Humphreys. He's probably not there yet, but he's a good kick of the footy. I tell you
He
what.
will, mate.
No wonder he's taking most of his 14 kicks from 17 possessions. No wonder he's kicking it. He's pretty handy at it. 7 marks as well. He does float forward a little bit. I've noticed he's keen to get involved in the action.
Yeah.
And it'll be great when he gets his first goal. But
he was in the forward 50 at one point. I was like, oh, come on, Lawson, come on. Oh, like one day. But yeah, he just looks confident every time he has the ball, and he's only like 21 years old too. Like,
yeah,
it's fantastic. Yeah. Keep him in the side. Yeah, absolutely.
you can't make a case to drop him yet. If it's a final, you might have to make a tough call on a bloke like that. But at the moment, why would things are going great? Keep him in the side. Keep him and Manor in the side. I think Mitch Nevitt. I feel like he's gonna. If someone's ready to come back, possibly.
Very tough.
It sucks. It completely sucks for Mitch Nevitt.
It does.
Because he played well.
He played well last week. Play as well. Yeah, because I thought Jai Clark may have probably benefit for a rest and stuff, but he played really well too. He took his opportunity he had the 18 disposals, 4 tackles, 2 clearances. Yeah, I agree with you as well, Ben. It's going to be tough to break into, but I was keen to see Mitch Nevitt, and I was bummed out he was a laid out.
I don't think we're seeing the other Mitch Hardy anytime soon. The Cats have sort of found their groove a little bit. I think it might be
conceded to that. Yeah,
I think so. I think we've got rejoice in that we've got Sean Manor back in the side. Hopefully, Toby Conway is not in that moon boot for too long.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't know what's happening there, but it's the Sam DeConning show at the moment in the ruck. He was there for a fair chunk of the game. I know Blitzar's rolled through there a little bit, and Shannon Neal took a turn here at points, but he's looking okay. He's looking okay at the moment. So.
Yeah, as said before, he really looked good in the ruck. I mean, look, Lloyd Meek had about 45 hit-outs to what DeConning had 20, but it's what you do with those hit-outs as well. And he played as that extra midfield too, obviously having Dangerfield and Tom Stewart in there as well. We just taught him a lesson with Hawthorn, thinking, oh yeah, we're going to make finals. Hawk Ball's back. No. You come here. This is our house, mate.
Yeah, it's definitely our house, mate. I was walking to the ground as I do. Usually, I'm walking down Noble Street. If anyone's watching this that lives in Geelong, probably knows Noble Street. And every time I just glance a bit of yellow out of the corner of my eye, I just turn around like, what the fuck are you doing in my town? Get out of here. Get out now. There's the train station. Yes. Get back in your car. Off you go.
Back the highway, back to the shithole in Waverley. So sorry for the language. I know kids are watching, but
sorry.
Sorry,
just been Bianca. Sorry, Bianca. No, she can handle it apparently, but no apologies to everyone else. We've just beaten Hawthorn. We're a little bit excited. Last name I want to throw at you, mate, because I thought he was terrific, at least early, and probably set the game up for us. It was Patrick Dangerfield. How'd you find his game tonight?
Yeah, Paddy was really good. Yeah, I only had the 14 touches, but I thought he was one of our important players, especially early on. And you don't need him to get 20 or 30 touches to win the game. Like Zach Tui, he did his role, did his shift, and I thought it was the right call of giving him a rest late in the fourth quarter. Yeah, he was very good, and hopefully he's cherry ripe come finals time, especially against Collingwood. Watch out.
Exactly. I don't know if you can pick this up through the telly tonight, but they played Geelong songs for Geelong players. Well, a couple of them have got their own little song.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know if you heard the one for Shannon Neal tonight. No, 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 no.
Oh, Tequila.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pick that up.
I don't know what.
I'll tell you what, Ben. I'll be honest. I'm not a fan of music between the goals. Because I've been because obviously gather round. Fair enough for promotional stuff, but I know a number of clubs. I've been to a number of Crows games. They do like music between goals. I know Sydney Swans do it, GWS. But now Geelong doing it, I'm like, oh no, we're doing it now. It's just like it drowns out the noise,
Yeah, I have to say they've gone a little bit crazy with it. I was okay when they were doing it for Zach Toohey because they did. As the one player they're allowed to do it for was Zach Toohey, but now everyone's got a song. I think Brad Close had a song. I can't remember. But yeah, the tequila one was coming a little bit from Shannon Neal tonight.
Oh, it's just a bit too much. Another Brisbane Lions, Charlie Cameron got Country Roads,
You did.
It's just you can call me old school. They're a party people. I don't care. Just get rid of it. I hate the music. If you want to listen, go to a rock concert, man, or whatever. I'm here to go to the football.
Hey, do you know one thing you missed out on when you came to see the? No, did we lose that game that you came to? I can't remember now.
No, I went the Richmond game. We won that game.
Oh, we won that one. Okay, so you may have seen it. Was Tui playing that game? It's probably hard to remember now. A few weeks back.
Oh, I can't remember. Yeah,
I'll get to my point. What I was about to say is that Tui does this thing with that stand on the Moorabool Street side. When we win after the game, he kind of runs up to it and goes, "Yeah." I know he did that again. I haven't seen him do it for a little while. That he kind of runs up and the crowd just gets all excited. And he gives them a big rev up after, when the game siren's gone and all that. It was good to see.
Because I was definitely at the players' end at the end of that game as well. They were walking back in, but I think I saw him doing that. Yeah, I've got to check the team list from that game. But yeah,
I can't remember if he played that game. He probably didn't because I don't watch him every second of the game, but he used to do it all the time. We have a win. He'd run over to that one grandstand. And do it. It was great, mate. Any other final thoughts on the game tonight? You can talk about next week if you want. But it's Collingwood. That's not far away. 6 days away.
Oh well, I thought like what Brendan said, A+ effort, 10 out of 10. No, 11 out of 10. Beat the Hawks, got the job done, got the 4 points. I think we're in a really good position at the moment, considering where we were a month ago. We're now, I think, 10-6, a touch within the top 4. I don't know where we are in the ladder now, but I think we're a touch within the top 4. Got to rely on other results, but
I think we're 5th.
We beat Collingwood. Watch out, the Cats are coming. Cats are coming, mate. We're going to be peaking at the right time.
Jezelenko saying the Cats used to play Enter Sandman from Metallica when we used to run out of the tunnel. And it was sick. We all got behind it. So it's been a while since that one. I don't know the name of the song. If there's any younger people in here that might know the name of the song, it's a bit doofy.
Zombie Nation. Oh,
is it Zombie Nation? Is it?
Well, fun fact, it's I don't know if you watch much ice hockey. Well, I don't, but I know that's the Boston Bruins. When they score a goal, that's their goal song.
Okay.
So yeah, fun fact, Cats fans, but yeah, it's a really cool song. I'm being a bit biased myself, but I think we got the best pre-match song. Sorry to my Port Adelaide fans with "Never Tear Us Apart" or all of that, but yeah, I think we got it awesome because when I went, I had chills down my spine. That's just, I was like, wow, this is awesome.
I get up and about too. I think my wife doesn't like it. She prefers the Cat Attack one, but they usually play that at the end of the game.
They do that after, yeah.
After we've won,
which is cool too. Yeah. But yeah, look, have music before and after the game, just not between goals. Before people say to me, "Oh, Kiri, you said you didn't like the music at the football." Well, I don't like it between the goals. I like it before and after the game.
Unless it's Zach Tui or one of the other Irish boys. Is that
unless it's Zach Tui or the Zach Tui Irish side as well, Mark O'Connor, O'Shea Mullen, any of the AFL Geelong AFLW Irish players as well. So yeah.
Beautiful. I'd love to play the song on the show, but I'll probably get copyrighted for it or something like that. So I'm probably not allowed to. But you want to sing us out? No. I can't do it. I won't do it. I did the Fat Lady last week on the I did the live watch along, and I was hitting some high notes, the soprano or whatever it is. I can't sing so myself. Yeah, I won't sing. I don't sing along to this club song when I play it at the start of this show, so you won't get me singing too much more. Mate, thanks for coming on again. The Cats had another lovely win, and how good is it? We can just enjoy the rest of our Sunday. Maybe chuck the replay on again if you want. And
I certainly will, mate. I definitely will. Yeah.
Good on you, buddy. You have a good weekend.
You too. Cheers, Ben.
Cheers, mate. Good bloke. All right, a couple more comments. Another one from either moment. 2 weeks ago, we were shitting ourselves about this game. Thank the Lord, we got 2 wins in a row. It's so good when you go on a winning streak. It's so good. I love it. Frank Gardner, welcome to the show. Frank, great win. Big smile. Thanks. Here we go. Oh, it looks like there's some construction possibly outside, I was going to say Skilled Stadium, GMHBA Stadium. Build the Ollie Dempsey statue now. Build a statue now. 100%. Build that damn thing. Build it. Here we go. Looking ahead to next week, Brandon, Stephen. Collingwood should be playing at the Cattery. As a Carlton supporter, we have to suffer travelling more than these frauds. Collingwood have not played there since 1999. Brandon, I don't think Collingwood's going to play at the Cattery anytime soon, unless it's VFL or unless it's a preseason game, maybe AFLW, something like that. I just don't see it happening. And we asked this question. I was asking this question to Kerry before. Is he going to drop Tom Hawkins for Shannon Neal at the business end of the season in finals? Shadu. Sorry if I got that wrong. My head says Neil. My heart says Tomahawk. Tough one, isn't it? We don't have to make the decision for a long time still. We don't have to, but we'll have to make it at some point in time. All right, my next guest is Ben. I'm going to get him on, and let's hear what Ben's got to say about the game. Welcome.
G'day, Ben. How good? What a match.
How good. Talk to me about it. Take me through it. What did you like?
I just liked a few of our players having their best game of the season. Of course, Manor. It was only his third game, but still. Duncan as well, I thought was really good. I thought our backline played their best game of the year, just all of them. That was really good as well.
Clicking, wasn't it? I wonder what it was. Yeah, there's Kolodashny was solid like he always is. When Jack Henry plays well, and I want you to talk to me a bit about Jack Henry, because he's been one that we've probably, as Cats fans, we've probably picked on a little bit. But what do you think about the Cats when Jack Henry's playing well?
I just think, just causes the rest of the back line to play well. Of course, this season's been probably the whipping boy of the back line and stuff. When we're a bit out, we put the blame towards him. But yeah, he looked really good tonight at patches, and yeah,
he didn't. He's not a big risk taker, or at least he's not in recent years. He used to run forward and kick goals every now and then and be more of a swing.
Yeah, we tried it last year. Played him up forward when he returned.
He seems to be playing that really solid, stable defender. Or at least that's the role he's trying to play. And sometimes it hasn't worked this year, and he's got a bit of flack for it. But he just seemed to be rock solid down there tonight. And you've got your other guys like Max Holmes just running off, from that half-back line, and Big Baby Guthrie taking a big hanger every now and then and pushing blokes over and laughing at them as they fall to the ground, and then just running forward and down the middle of the ground. It's
got to really ask the question now, like, is Sam de Koning the best ruck in the league?
We need to ask ourselves that question seriously.
I thought he got a bit harshly done by his ruck performances the last 2 weeks. So I thought he wasn't actually that bad against Carlton and against Essendon, but in tonight he just really proved his point on it.
he still needs to work out the ruck craft a little bit. Like he gets out of position. He's not especially when there's a throw in, he doesn't see it quick enough when it's falling short. That kind of stuff. And he's probably, around his core, he's not quite strong enough in his legs and all that. He's got the height there.
Sorry, you go.
I was just going to say he's got the height and he's got the soft hands and in terms of his disposals and whatnot. But yeah, he just probably needs to just work on that a little bit. If the intention is that he's going to play through that ruck role a little bit, they might turn him into a ruck that rests forward every now and then because he's starting to drift forward a lot more now.
He doesn't get too many hit outs. But then again, if he's getting 20 touches and 2 goals, he won't do that every week. But that's still classifies as a good ruck performance, I guess.
Do you think he will continue to get around 15 to 20 possessions a game if he's playing through the middle of the ground? He seems to know how to finds the footy is what I'll give him. If he's not playing a lockdown defender role and he's playing an on-ball role, he can find the footy for sure.
It does seem like the last few weeks, he's finding the footy more. He's had 20 touches every game the last 3 weeks. So yeah, I'd continue with him in ruck probably on Friday. Yeah.
I think Darcy Cameron might not be there. I'm not sure. I think from Collingwood.
Oh yeah.
Not a Collingwood expert.
Apparently he went to hospital last night after the game.
Yeah. Possibly he may not be there. So, and Mason Wood, I think he's right to go just yet. Do you reckon what we lose from, Sam De Koning's not the best ruckman, as I said, in terms of ruck craft. Do you think if you put that aside, it's a big thing to put aside, but if you put that aside for the moment and you look at the positives that he brings when he's in the middle of the ground, he's contesting more aerial balls because he's in the area. A lot of balls are sort of flying over his head or thereabouts. And he's got good touch below his feet. And he doesn't, when you see it every night, it drives me crazy when you see a Geelong player handball, but it absolutely smacked it to a teammate. And it's hang on, mate, I'm 3 meters away. What are you doing? He has this really soft touch with that sort of stuff. So I think he's great through the midfield. I wonder whether we lose too much going the other way because he's losing those hit outs. But he's probably better than the opposing ruckman, and maybe with the exception of a Max Gawn and 1 or 2 others. But around the ground, he's probably one of the better ones.
Yeah, you could just turn into that Bluxavs role, really. Just be that key backman, but also just playing in ruck a lot, and just occasionally go down the forward line as well and kick a few goals.
Definitely. Can I ask you about a couple of players? Get your thoughts.
Yeah, right. Cole Jasny just really impressed me tonight by just his contested marking ability, as well as Stewart, playing in the midfield and still taking a few defensive contested marks was also really good. Cameron as well, he could have kicked 8, but missed a few early.
We'd be talking about Jeremy Cameron very differently if he had a kick 6 goals tonight. I think he was still probably one of the better players on the ground.
I'd give him Brownlow votes, to be honest. But he was really good tonight. Ollie Dempsey should definitely win the Rising Star at this point, even if Reid hadn't got suspended.
Oh, really? You rate him higher than I love it. I love that. Love it. Unless Reid comes to Geelong and then we'll be all over him. But well, he's going to get. Do you reckon he'll get a big cheer, Harley Reid, when he comes to Geelong in round 24? He's got the ball on the wing and in front of the standing room here at that bay at the Cattery, and all those guys in the standing room throw their beers up in the air.
Just cheer if he kicks a goal or something, just like when we did with Ablett. And
Paddy Dangerfield got a big cheer the last game.
Oh yes.
I don't think Harley Reid's coming anytime soon, but we can dream. We're only dreaming because we're Geelong supporters, but it's a bit of a thing we've just carried on all year round. What about some players that maybe didn't have their best games today? I would say probably this is a tricky one because I reckon people will vehemently disagree with me, but I thought Tom Atkins wasn't his best.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, Atkins just a bit.
I imagine that people won't. Not everyone will, but I'll throw it out there.
Yeah, a bit quiet. I wouldn't drop him at this stage. I'd still keep him in, but yeah, he was a bit quiet tonight, I thought.
If you have to choose, I know there's slightly different players, but if you have to choose out of Atkins and Manor to play next week, and you had to choose who you're picking,
Oh, probably.
sorry,
I don't. Atkins always plays plays well against Collingwood, I think.
yeah,
And like it would be Manners' first time like playing in front of a big crowd and stuff, and the occasion might get to him or something. Probably just Atkins just at this point, I reckon.
I think
But
I'm
I
with
reckon
you.
I suspect both will play.
As hard as it would be, and these decisions will come after round 24, especially if one of the young guys is playing really well.
Yeah.
But there may be not an automatic selection still. That could be a tough one. I would probably, if we were playing Collingwood in a final next week, we're not, but we're playing Collingwood. Let's assume it's a final. I'm probably still taking Tom Atkins over Manor. Yes, I should just say this as well for anyone who's getting up and about in the chat, watching this online. They're different players. But if you had to make a choice, I'll probably go with Tom.
And this was only Manner's first game back. He still has a lot of weeks to prove himself in the team, and by a few weeks, he might just become a regular, have a regular spot in the team.
He may. Now Tyson Stengel signed a big deal. His pockets are very heavy with cash at the moment. I was a little bit worried the first half. He was quiet up. I'm like, oh no, we've signed him to a massive contract, and no, clearly,
he was just a bit off tonight, but I'm sure he'll get that back.
Second half was a little bit better, but he's a little bit quiet in the first half, and
a bit like Humphreys as well. Humphreys was a bit quiet the first half, I thought.
Exactly,
and then really came on the second half.
Yeah, and I think the game was probably won in that first half. I don't think we won every quarter, but could be corrected on that. If I might be slightly off there, but I think we won every quarter. But the game seemed the damage was done in the first half. I think that's where we sort of set this win up. And I thought Tom was a little bit quiet, and Lawson Humphreys was great. I loved him, but he was also pretty quiet in the first half as well. And Max Holmes, another. I don't think we've talked a lot about tonight, and I'll get your thoughts on him. What did you think of his game? But for me, he was pretty quiet in the first half.
Yeah, a bit quiet. Usually, he's the one who carries him. Who's been carrying our midfield a lot this year, but it just proves that we can like work around that, and he doesn't have to get like 30 touches like every game. Like he can still just not be at his best, and we can still be very dominant.
I think so. Where to here for this football club now? Where are we on the ladder again? We're fifth right now. I'm just trying to think what is that our 10th win for the year? Is that right?
I think it would be.
Just pulling up so 10-6 or 10-7.
10 it'd be 10-6.
Yeah. We're four more wins than losses at the moment, so we're going okay. We have won 3 out of our last 5.
Yeah,
there's a couple of losses in a row there a fortnight ago weren't great. But we feel like we've turned the corner a little bit. Bombers having a win and Freo having a win. That's probably made it hard for us to get in the top 4 in the next week or two. But what's the score in the Carlton game as we speak?
GWS bet them.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Carlton were up by 40 in the first quarter. Then GWS by the third quarter were up by 6 goals, and then Carlton just came back again.
How are you going to feel? GWS are currently sitting in 7th position with some games to come still. Brisbane's still got to play, and Melbourne, I think, playing as well. But how are you going to feel if it's the Cats in 5th versus GWS in 8th? And it's a home final at GMHBA. How are you going to feel? Feeling good?
We'll probably request it to be at the G. Like they'll say, "Oh, you can play this at GMHBA," and just be like, "No, mate. Like I think we'll pass on that."
And for those that haven't kept up with recent history in games against GWS, we've lost 4 in a row at GMHBA against them. So, I would be very nervous about that. Potentially, there's the possibility Freo just fall away a little bit late as well, and we might get them at another home final. I think those were the 2 teams that, if we're going to play a home final at GMHBA, those would be the 2 teams that we would be allowed to play a home final against. The rest of them would have to be in probably at the MCG or. they play games at Marvel, do they?
I'd
Right.
take the G. I loved every time we played an interstate, or like they all
Yeah.
were at the G, but just the game, it wasn't quite as like full at the G, and just made a better atmosphere, I thought.
It's played at 4:30 on a Saturday. The best time for Geelong supporters living in the Geelong or Barwon region to get to games and to get home at a civil hour. It's probably the best time to do it. But it's very early days. We're not in the finals yet, mate.
Yes, of course. Yes,
there yet.
let's get there first.
We've got to just push Collingwood aside, which is just probably just a little nudge like that.
I'll make a judgment on this team after the Collingwood game.
So that'll be 11 wins for us, with looking like we'll probably. Well, it's hard to know. I mean, if the wheels completely fall off, you get 11 wins, and it's not the first time. Wouldn't be the first time the wheels had fallen off this year, but 11 wins, you'd start feeling a little bit more confident, especially with the Bulldogs the week after, who never beat us at home.
Yeah.
And then a free kick against North Melbourne. Free kick, maybe not. They had a win this week, but yeah, free kick against North Melbourne. Jez's favourite team. He always goes crazy against North.
He also does against Collingwood as well, usually. So just hopefully that continues.
You'd think if we get past Collingwood, and if there's any Bulldog supporters watching this, they'll probably come back to bite me later on. No pun intended. But if we get past Collingwood, you'd think we'd go on a 5-game winning streak. Just tick off the Bulldogs and tick off North. Goodness me, we get arrogant, especially after a Hawthorn win. I've always accused Hawthorn supporters of being arrogant, but maybe I'm going that way too. I'm going to pull up. So like 5, we possibly could be 13-6. Looking close to top 4 if we can hold the form.
I think we've got Adelaide after that home, after North.
Another one. That could be 6 in a row.
And then it's Freo and Perth. That's
probably a loss. Probably a loss.
Saints at Marvel.
Yep.
I reckon we can win that. And then last round West Coast at home.
Probably win that.
Yeah.
Probably.
Speaking earlier about Hardy and how I reckon they will try him at some point, to be honest. If he just continues their form, they sort of did with Menengola in 2022, I do reckon they will try him at some point, and just to see how it goes. He'll probably just play one game. But
I think if he doesn't play this year, he's gone. I don't think the club will keep him there, and I think for him, it's probably not his best interest to hang around, unless there's no other club that wants to pick him up. But I probably think the club would maybe make a spot available for another younger guy. I think if you got him on your list for 2 years and you haven't played him, or a year and a half and you haven't played him, then you're probably really not going to 2 years later. I mean, he's already mature age anyway. So you give a game to a mature ager who you don't see a future with, really. It doesn't sound like the Cats do, but it just means a young fella doesn't get a game. Or a debut, or a Sean Manor doesn't get a third game. That's the kind of decisions that you make when you're doing that. So it is tough. There's players that striking the balance is really tough. Like you want to there'll be a couple of Cats that may not be in their best 22 come finals time that you want to give a game to towards the end of the year. There's a Jed Buse comes to mind in the VFL. I
reckon he'll play as well at some point. Because he's played too many games not to give a try to. He'll play at some point, I reckon.
I think the coaches have Zach Tui in their best 22. I don't know where I sit on that one, but
he's a bit inconsistent.
Yeah,
one week he'll have 25 touches, next week just have 12. And
the reality is, you're not going to hit the finals with a full squad of fit players. It's just not going to happen. So you've probably got, hopefully in a best case scenario, you've got 75 or 80% of your list free, and you can choose a best 22 from that. So it may be that there's some players that are better than a couple of names we could throw around, but they're not available. So they don't get a look at, and that's the same for every club, isn't it? So, but yeah, we're sitting 5th at the moment. We're not far off it. Said Brisbane could win. imagine they could go very close to winning this round, and they'll be just a half a game behind us still. They're coming. I've probably got Brisbane finishing top 4 if I'm being really honest, and I still think the Cats are finishing.
I reckon so too.
Yeah, I think the Cats probably second half of the ladder of the top 8.
The thing is about Collingwood, they've lost their last 2 in a row, and they don't want to lose a third one in a row. We played them last year after they lost 2 in a row as well, so just got to have that edge, I guess, on them.
Best case scenario for the Cats, in my mind, is that Essendon just drop off a little bit and slip all the way down to 8th on the ladder, and the Cats finish 5th. If that's where we finish. Clearly, want to finish higher, but realistically, I think I said best case scenario. Clearly, that's not realistic for me. Would be that Bombers drop a few games. They're still pretty young. They finish 8th, Cats finish 5th, and that's probably the best case scenario for us if we finish in the bottom half of the 8.
It is Essendon, but then again, like we played Richmond in 2017, they hadn't won a final for 16 years. Then we played Melbourne the next year, and they hadn't won a final for ages, and they won. So
you're talking too much common sense here. What is you make a good point there. You should never assume victory. If anything,
finals is a very different game.
Probably assume the worst. All our hopes and dreams will get shattered. We've made this nice. We've recovered nicely in the the final third of the season, feeling good about things. Coming into an elimination final, and we're out straight away. That'll be a bit deflating. But hopefully we push on. Mate, I really appreciate you coming. Any other thoughts on the game before I let you go? Any thoughts on the next few weeks before I let you go?
Yeah, just excited, I guess. We've got a good fixture. Players are performing at their best this time of year, just wanting their spot in the team. They don't want to go back to VFL. So, just got to continue.
And VFL's not a bad place to be right now. They're winning games. They're second or third on the ladder. They're travelling well. So, and, players like, Jed Buse seems to have kind of accepted his place now and seems to be happy playing in the VFL. And Gary Rowan, before he came back, he said he loved playing in the VFL. He really enjoyed playing with those guys. And you can tell there's a lot of guys in the VFL level that are really enjoying playing with each other. Clearly, they want opportunities at the top level, but it's good that they're playing well as a team, because it has been a long time since our VFL side's been strong like it is this year.
Do you think there's any changes next week for Collingwood? Who was out? So I don't think Mitch Nevitt comes back in. I just don't see any changes to the ruck situation at the moment with Toby Conway in a moon boot and Reece Stanley withdrawn from the emergencies. I don't really know if any of those guys will be coming back anytime soon, or whether the coaches will want to make a change. Maybe they just want to keep exposing Sam DeConning to the ruck situation. You never know. Like Sean, we didn't expect Manor to play until like his VFL game. So you never know. Like some VFL player tomorrow might just play the game of their life and get into the team or something.
Well, Mark O'Connor and Jai Clark were omitted from this team, and Jai Clark came in at the last minute. But I don't think Mark O'Connor comes back in. I'd be happy for him. Let me get that straight. But I'll be disappointed the way this team's been playing at the moment and looking as a unit. It's looking like a better side right now. I don't feel like O'Connor improves this team. If who knows what we come out of this game with, though. There might be injuries. The Jezza one worries me a little bit with his sore middle finger, or one of his fingers was a bit sore.
Jasny might get suspended.
I think he will. I think he's getting possibly 2 weeks. That guy was pretty sore.
If Cole Jasny gets suspended, probably O'Connor probably does come back in. Or maybe they might play O'Sullivan, perhaps.
Yeah, possibly. I thought about that earlier after the game tonight. Like, if Kolodashny goes, can you trust O'Sullivan? Hold down a really key defensive post.
Probably not. I'd probably play O'Connor over him.
Probably. You might just shuffle the pieces a little bit, and then again, you lose another tall in Kolodashny, and then does Sam DeConning go back? And then who have we got in the ruck? So it's a really tricky situation if he misses.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have thought so normally, but yeah, I don't know how we're going to cover him if maybe there is a guy in the VFL banging the door down. I don't know who it would be. There's a lot of young guys in this team right now, and a lot of relatively inexperienced in terms of AFL that I want to keep in the team. I want to keep Sean.
But I know he won't be back next week, but Tanner Bruin as well. He's also got to come back in probably.
Goes out for him.
Oh,
Who do you take out of tonight's team?
I'd have no idea, to be honest, at this point. But they will bring him back. So see who it is.
Breaks my heart to say this, but please, people in the chat watching later on, don't think I'm against this guy at all. But if Tanner Bruin's fit, I'm probably taking him over Tom Atkins. That inside mid type. I don't like doing that. I'm doing Tom Atkins dirty. I love the guy. He's a heart and soul player for the Cats, and I can't fit him in at the moment.
It's a hard one, but
you trust him though, but he's just not demanding. He's nowhere near he's not in our best 10 players on the ground very often. Unlike a couple of years ago.
You never know. Like on Friday, he might have like 30 touches and Clark has like 15 or something, and then we just say, "Oh, get Clark out and bring Bruin in for him."
And we can clip this segment of the show where I absolutely gave it to Tom Atkins and told him we didn't belong in the team. That'd be great. And we just intersperse with highlights of him and his stats and all that. He's washed up. I don't think Tom Atkins cares too much about YouTube or social media or anything like that. I think he'd like to stay away from it. So I think he's got an Instagram, but it's usually just other stuff, non-football related generally most of the time.
What your previous guest as well, saying about Hawkins, like if he does play that last game, the gear against West Coast, but then like we don't, and whatever that game he kicks like 10 or something.
Who? Sorry, which one? Which
Hawkins.
player? He's got to kick 4 at least to get 800 goals.
Yeah, but what if they like just feed him the ball all day? West Coast have just given up, and he just kicks like 10 or something, and then like you sort of it's a bit weird if you drop him after that, and then like he goes in the qualifying final or like a final if we're there, and he just does like nothing that game. And
if they do that, which you can see, human nature would say, "Oh, you want to look after Tommy Hawkins if it is." He's back, and we want to get him to 800 goals, but it makes it so predictable for the opposition defenders just to hang close to Tom Hawkins. Don't be too far away from Tommy Hawkins because they're looking for him all night long. That's the concern that I'd have if we get a bit too Hawkins hungry, or wanting to get him involved in the game. And I think if it happens organically, that's great. But I'd be very nervous if we started looking, even against West Coast. I'd be very nervous if they started just looking at Tommy Hawkins. And again, as I said earlier, that's if he comes back. Like we're told it's 6 to 8 weeks, but how does a 36-year-old body recover? A lot of question marks. We don't know. We don't know how he's going to pull up.
Yeah, it's been a weird footy season. I don't know if that's like good or bad, but just just in terms of a broader league, just weird results happen every week. Just more high scoring games. Just it's been a different year, to be honest.
It's been a hard year to get a gauge on, I reckon. But yeah, we've got a few more games to go. I think it's 7 or 8 games to go, mate. And top 4 still a chance. Missing the finals is still a chance too. So we're in this really, really tense sort of spot, which, if you think about it, it's actually an exciting place to be. I like to sit back and enjoy these 100-point thrashings and know that we're 3 games clear on top of the ladder. But this is probably what footy's all about, really, to sort of be in this little space where you're not sure if you're any good or you're going to fall away. It's probably a good place to be. It makes footy exciting when you go on the weekend.
Just got to control what we can control, just our results. So
exactly right. Exactly right. Mate, I appreciate you coming on again. Hopefully it'll be a late one next week, but against Collingwood. But hopefully we'll get you on next week. Tell a
of course,
friend, bring them along as well. We want to get.
Yeah.
We'll have a nice long one next weekend. After
Might
that,
have to do it on the train or something.
do it on the
So-
train. Key Reese done that before.
Yeah.
He got all the passengers talking on the thing as well. That was great. Hopefully, we'll see you on the train at some point, mate. Have a good night. Enjoy the replay if you watch it later on.
No worries.
Tomorrow
Cheers,
or
Ben.
tonight. We'll see you next time, buddy.
See you, mate.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Couple of comments in the chat there. We were talking about who would we have? Manor, Atkins, Clark, Broon. Feel like I'm pushing Atkins out, but I think you're right, Jezelenko. It's probably Clark makes way, the young fella, and hopefully he realises that it's not his time just yet. So yeah. Anyway, Jackie says she doesn't think Kolodashny is going to get done for that hit. I don't know. Other people, what do you think? If maybe you haven't seen the replay of it yet, it had an impact on the bloke on Mitch Lewis. He was done for the day. Got him high. It was a bit uncoordinated. It was a bit it's typical Kolodashny, really. That kind of stuff. I mean, he generally doesn't get cited. He's a pretty clean player normally. I don't think he gets too involved in that sort of stuff. So hopefully he's okay to go. Now, Lucas, are you in the chat, mate? I think we've got one. You might be the last one if you're about. There he is. If anyone else wants to jump in the chat after Lucas, I've probably got room for one or two more if you want to. But if there's no one else, that's okay. So here's Lucas. Now, normally we like to get him on for a bit of a rant, a bit of a rage rant, but I imagine we'll get a different version of him tonight. Let's see how we go. Welcome to Post Game Live, Lucas.
Thank you for having me, Ben. You probably would have got a rant if we would have lost tonight's game. Probably would have got a big one. But no, we did what we needed to do tonight. I thought Hawthorn would have put on a little bit more of a challenge. I thought we probably would have went, a couple of goals either way leading into the last quarter and we'd pull away, but they were really no threat whatsoever to us. And I thought our first quarter was pretty much it. We just blew them away in the first quarter. Mind you, we could have had 10 goals in that first quarter if we kicked straight.
Exactly.
That's probably the only negative about tonight's game was the inaccuracy. Cameron could have had 8 goals. But no, today was a solid win. Did what we had to do. The opposition probably played one of the worst games of the year, but I don't care about that. That's their problem.
Not our problem. Not our problem.
Yeah. No, and so it was just a very good solid win. A lot of players I think were solid. Duncan solid. Bowes solid. Tom Stewart back to his old self 2 weeks in a row. You can see that he's a backman all his career with his accuracy again. But no, I thought just everyone was solid. Probably Stengel struggled a bit in the first half, first 3 quarters.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
But that's just nitpicking. I thought again we were pretty solid, and Hawthorn just didn't want to know, just didn't come to play, unfortunately. But
was Stengel sloppy, or was he just not getting near the ball?
I thought his disposal weight was okay, was good. So I just don't think he got near the ball as much. When you have dominant displays, it's kind of hard to actually get in because everybody like Cameron was ridiculous. Like I said, he could have kicked 8 today. So it is kind of hard to share it around. But then again, Geelong do that actually pretty well. De Koning was actually very good today, kicking goals as well. So I think Geelong shared the ball pretty well, but I just don't think he got near it as much. I don't think he was sloppy, just didn't get near it. Just one of those nights, unfortunately. But I thought Roran the last 3 weeks, since he started that, when he came on as that sub, he's been probably over the last 3 weeks, probably Geelong's most consistent player. Very good. So that's probably bad news. Yeah, probably bad news for Ollie Henry, because he'll probably be the sub again.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that for a second. I'm going to ask you. I've asked a lot of these which way would you go questions tonight. You have to. It's first final, and there's only room for one, Ollie Henry or Gary Rowan. And they may be, a lot of people will say they're not the same player. I beg to differ. But if you had to choose, who are you picking?
I love Ollie Henry. I think what he did last year was amazing. You know, first year in Geelong, kicks over 40 goals. On form wise, you can, as much as this pains me to say, you're gonna have to say Gary Rowan. I think he's like I said, last 3 weeks, he's easily been the most consistent player for Geelong. Ollie Henry's been in and out, form wise, injury wise. So based on that evidence, I think you're taking Gary Rowan. I don't think it's even close.
Yeah, I agree.
That pains me to say because I'm a huge Ollie Henry fan, but I think Rowan's a clear front runner at this point in time.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because Ollie Henry's the future, and you don't want to piss off the young guys. And I'm going to play Gary Rowan, even though he's not going to be around 2 years or maybe the end of this year, depending on how he feels. But it's tough, isn't it? Like you miss a final because they give a game to an old bloke. I guess coaches have got to make those tough decisions. I think probably what they'll do, and it seems to be the way they've done it most of the year and last year, is play them both. It's just my read on it, mate, is that I just feel like we're better with one of them. I just feel like it's a better balance in that forward line if there's just one of them out there. I don't know if it works, but there's smarter people out there than me, clearly, that may think otherwise.
I agree with. I think you can only play one of them. Ollie Henry, unlike Rowan when he was a sub, it was electric. When he played that one quarter, I didn't get that from Ollie Henry tonight. Again, it's tough. It's always tough when you get one quarter. I think he only came in the fourth quarter. That's very tough. But I just think at this point in time, you play your best 22, and I don't think Ollie Henry's in that. I think Gary Rowan is. And as long as we're in the final hunt, top 8, that means we're in the finals hunt. I think we play our best 22. Maybe you can try something in the West Coast game, which is basically a free kick. But then again, that can be a banana skin. Not the result, but if you're up by, let's say, 50 points and the game's over by half time, then you've got to buy the next week, and then you come on. Especially if you're facing a top 2 side, if we make top 4, that can be pretty hard to get up for that. So I'm not in favour of just cruising against West Coast when there's a bye. Because probably that's what we'll do. We only need to cruise and we'll probably be over by half time. So that can be very dangerous. So I still think as long as we're in the finals, you pick your best 22. And that for me is Rowan. And that for me, unfortunately, Hawkins stays out, unfortunately.
Hawkins out. Henry out as well, did you say?
Yes. Yeah.
And what? And anyone?
Tom Hawkins doesn't come back in.
Oh, goodness me. We're going to upset a lot of people here. And that's another little clip for me there to post on the social media.
I've received hate mail from the Geelong loyalists for the last 2 weeks, so they can blame it on me, mate. Blame it on me.
There's a lot of I love Tom Hawkins, but you can say this about a lot of teams in AFL that you think you're going to be worse off without a certain player. And it turns out it's not actually the end of the world sometimes. You lose Hawthorn, lose Buddy Franklin, go on to win a premiership. Geelong, Gary Ablett Jr. went on to win a premiership. That's 2 examples. You can look back over years. Robert Harvey retires from St Kilda, goes on and makes, it happens at all clubs. Yep. It's really hard to tell an absolute out-and-out legend. He will be a legend of the club, Tom Hawkins. At the time's up. Cam Mooney, probably a Hall of Famer, but won't be a legend. But Cam Mooney had to make the tough call, and he made it himself. It's not an easy decision to make. I don't think we're there yet. I think we're well off that decision. Yeah.
Look, let's just put it this way. Tom Hawkins owes us nothing. He owes us nothing.
Nothing at all.
Multi-premiership player. Will be a future Hall of Famer without question of a doubt. do you really want? Maybe you can put him in the West Coast game, which is a free kick, but do you want him? Hypothetically, if he kicks 4 or 5 goals, gets his 800th, do you want to play him in the first final against a hardened team, top 2 team, if we finish top 4? But then again, how silly would it look if you play a one-off game and then he's retired and Geelong is still in the finals? So it's a double-edged sword either way. Maybe he does play in the West Coast game, free kick, see what you can do, retire, everyone can move on. But let's say if Neil gets injured, then what happens? Keith Ford gets injured. Oh wait, Hawkins is retired. Who the hell are we going to bring?
Tommy's been on a diet of meat pies and beers for the last 3 weeks during the finals, and Shannon Neal's no good. Oh, Tommy, we need you to come out. Can you jump on the treadmill through the week? And we need you to come back. It's going to be tough. Look, I think the only way this happens is, let's use your scenario. It's round 24 against the West Coast Eagles, and the club and Tom Hawkins has a farewell game. It has to be on his terms. He comes out, makes the announcement. This is his last game. No matter what, 1 goal, no goals, 10 goals, 20 goals, break the Fred Flanning's record. Who cares? I am not playing in the finals. I think otherwise it's going to be an embarrassment if we give him a game and there's no intention to play him in the finals and he kicks 4 or 5. I don't. I think Tom will play. I think Tom's nowhere near ready to hand it in. To be honest, I think he still sees himself as having a role to play for the rest of this season, and so he should. I just want Shannon Neal to make it a really difficult decision for the coaches to make. I really want him to say, well, I've had this opportunity. I've gone and kicked 25, 30 goals in the last 10 weeks. You really want to kick me out?
Yeah.
I'm from WA. Don't forget, I'm from WA. I might get homesick. I want Shannon Neal to make this a very difficult conversation, and make it almost like it's make it really hard for these coaches to have to make a tough call. Hopefully, Tommy comes back and he's fit and ready to go, and we get the best version of him.
Yeah.
But goodness me, it'll be hard to say no to Shannon Neal if he's kicking 2 or 3 goals a game this time round 24.
Not trying to be mean, but probably it's in everyone's best interest he stays injured. So we can just I think with the Hawkins situation, we just want to move on. We don't want this to carry into finals. So I would like him to make a decision. Look, if he says, look, I'm in it for long haul, I'm going to work my way back in, so be it. That's fine. I don't mind that. If he says, you know what, I'm going to retire, I want a farewell game against West Coast, that's fine, so be it. He owes us nothing, so he deserves that. But I just think, without trying to be mean or callous, that I just stay injured, just stay out of Geelong's way, and I don't mean that in such a callous, mean way, but just let us get on with it, and then make a decision. We can all move on and just put this to bed, because it's gonna get worse while the weeks go on, because we're going to talk about it more and more and more. And I don't think Geelong want to be in a position where they want to talk about that, going into finals.
Well, there's 2 ways this goes. There is 2 ways this goes. Geelong hits struggle street again, and it just sputters along, makes the finals, but not convincing at all. Shannon Neal's not really done heaps. He's played well enough in certain games, but hasn't done heaps. I think they're going to play Tom Hawkins in that situation. The other scenario is Geelong wins 6 out of the last 8 games of the year. Everything's clicking. Forwards are looking good. The defenders are back again. Do we really want to make a significant change? That is going to be a really tough situation if that comes up. It's a good situation to have, don't get me wrong, but it's probably the situation that I dread the most, to be honest. And I think we're both saying we don't want Tommy to get injured, but it makes the conversation a little bit easier if Shannon Neal really takes this opportunity with both hands, and Jezza stays fit and they're both going okay, and the Cats are doing really well. It makes it a really tough situation. It's tough for Tom. I feel like we've turned this into the Let's Retire Tommy show. It's not, but it's a compliment to Shannon Neal.
Not trying to get rid of him. We're
complimenting Shannon Neal is really what probably where we're going. So we we feel good about how things are working for Shannon, but also how it's working as a forward line structure. I think.
And with this scenarios, I actually think we can win our next 6 out of our last 7.
Yep.
If we can get past Collingwood. If we can beat Collingwood, I think it's a free kick against West Coast, free kick against North Melbourne, possibly free kick against Adelaide. Western Bulldogs, you don't know what the hell you're going to get with them.
I posted a comment from Shadu. They're talking about Flipside's leadership and experience Tommy Hawkins could bring in the finals. What do you think about that? Does that change?
Completely agree. Well, he's played. Well, look how many finals games he's played. So I can't disagree with that. But I just think we'll be in a very good position, and I just don't. As long as we're in finals, I want to win. I want to win those finals, and I think at this point, if Tom Hawkins kicked 4, 5, 6 goals before getting injured, we wouldn't have this discussion. No, he comes straight back in, regardless. But the problem, he didn't do that. He was struggling. He was really, really struggling. And halfway through this, like 6 weeks ago, we were saying, oh, look, maybe should be his last year. So if you're saying that, but you're bringing him back to the finals, in a way you're saying, well, we still need you, Tom Hawkins. So...
And what does that tell Shannon Neal? What does that tell Shannon Neal? What message does he?
Yeah. So that will say to Shannon Neal, well, we don't have faith in you yet. As long as Tom Hawkins is here, you're still the key forward. Shannon Neal thinks, oh, well, geez, is this bloke going to go on for another year?
Maybe. We don't know. He could go again.
Could, maybe. Probably not. Sorry. But look, Fremantle have got a very good forward in Tracy. Very good forward.
Yeah.
I think West Coast would be more suited to him. Especially Darling. It could be Darling's last year as well, most likely.
Probably.
So they could just say, well, Darling's out. You come in. You replace him straight away. You play 22 rounds. Good luck. So I just don't want that to go in his head. I just want him to play for the rest of the season until we're out. Whether we don't make finals or we're out of finals, I just want him to play the whole rest of the season. And let's see what he does. I think that's required.
Where do you see Geelong finishing this year on the ladder?
I see, like I said, if they win 6 out of the last 7, they'll finish top 4.
Yes.
And like I said, there's a couple of free kick games. Adelaide, North, West Coast, Western Bulldogs. Like I said, you don't know where the hell they are. They can play some of their best football and then some of their worst football, like they were today against Port Adelaide. They were horrible today against Port Adelaide. Whether they expect Port Adelaide just to roll over, but they were never even in that game. So don't know what you're going to get. You're going to get with them. Collingwood, probably same thing. You don't know what you're going to get with them. But I still think if we can get past Collingwood, I think we'll win our last 6 games. Fremantle and Perth, that's tough. I've put that down as a loss. Very tough to beat over there. They're almost like battling it out with Gold Coast for the most Fortress Stadium in the AFL this season. So that I've got that as a loss. That's the one loss. But I think they can easily win their other games. I think they got St Kilda in there as well. That should be a win. So I see them finishing top 4. I want to wait till the Collingwood game next week to pass judgment on that. Finish top 4, probably play Sydney and Sydney, get a home final, and I think that's as much as you don't want your team to lose if they can win a final. I think that's a great season. I think that's a very good season.
Oh, you take it. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So, if you said at the start of the year you make finals and you win a final, I think you're taking that 100 times out of 100. So, but no, I can't see us not making top 4 if we can just get past Collingwood, which again is one of those 50-50 games. The Bulldogs game. Now I know they beat us last year, but we had nothing to play for. They were trying to make finals. We had a lot of players out, injured, going into surgery. So you can't really take anything from that game. Again, like I said, the Bulldogs, you got two teams coming up. You don't know what you're going to get. You could get champagne football from both teams, or they can stink up the joint, like they did today and last night. So look, I just want to win. You got to be in it to win it. If we're in it, I want to win the grand final. But if we can win a final, I think everybody will be happy with that. That, you know what, in a year that we were supposed to be rebuilding and playing young kids, we're winning the finals. So that would be a very good achievement, especially with our young kids coming through, who were, again, very good tonight. Dempsey was good. I'm going to butcher his name. Is it Milligan, the three-gamer?
Oh, Sean Manor.
Manor, sorry. Apologies.
Good manners, bad manners. That's probably the best way.
There we go. I'll remember that. There we go.
Good manners tonight.
Bad manners on my behalf for butchering his name. So I thought he was great tonight. So it's exciting that we've got these young kids coming through. Tanner Bruner is another one. Probably not as young, but still a rookie with games played. So it's very exciting. There is one thing that's starting to annoy me. I'm not going to go on a rant. That's Dangerfield's hamstring.
Oh, okay.
It's almost giving me the you know what. Again, I don't know if you know, but he was struggling through the whole game with it, getting treatment on it. And I tweeted, I was saying, either you sub off or just play through it. Because I've been saying he's one soft tissue issue away from retiring. I think if he does another hamstring and misses 4 or 5 weeks, I think that's it. So he needs to make a decision with that, because it seems like every time he's out there, he's grabbing the hamstring. He had a lot of treatment at half time, quarter time, 3/4 time, then he got subbed off. I just don't, in a finals like game, I just don't want to take that risk. Well, as much as he's been good for us, do you really want him to be subbed out in quarter time? So
no, not really. It feels like we're just rolling the dice a little bit with Patrick Dangerfield this year. I think things could. This is a sort of a year where we could be going really, really well for the next 7 weeks, and
yeah.
Luke was saying in the chat, 5-2, we're probably going to finish top 4. We could be 5-2, and Danger does a hammy in the West Coast game, and pretty much that is the end of the season as far as I'm concerned. I feel like that's where it comes to an end. And that's probably unfair to a lot of the other players in the team that will go, hang on. The season's still alive here. We're pretty good players too. But I think what Danger offers at his absolute best is enough to make Geelong a threat. Definitely a threat. And but if he's not there, are you thinking he'll play next week? Do you think he actually injured it, or are you just worried that he's ever so close to just pinging it again and that's it?
This is what's really bleeping annoying me, because he's just it could be mental. If you can remember years ago, Jake Stringer had the same problem when he was playing for the Bulldogs, where he would have some hamstring injuries and then turned out to be some kind of mental demons because he did it that much. I remember the final in against Adelaide at the MCG, where they played the final there. And he was just getting treatment for the whole game. And, at the end of that, he said, maybe it was just a mental thing. I hope that's not the case. Because if it's a mental thing, then your head's not in the game. Yeah. And like you said, Dangerfield is still one of our best players this season. So top 5 easily, I think. Very key, important in that midfield. Probably our best inside mid. So he's very crucial. As he said, I just don't want to go into a game like West Coast, or 1 week into the finals, or he does it in the first quarter. That would just be disastrous. and probably would end his season and maybe career. So I think
As
they
a
need to make a decision on that. I wouldn't play him this week. That's a big call, but if he's gonna work on it at quarter time, half time, 3/4 time like he did today, then he's not comfortable with it. Otherwise, he wouldn't be getting treatment on it. And if he's not comfortable with it, you're taking a risk. And
it's a watch this space on that one, isn't it?
so I don't think it's at 100%. If you ask, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I don't think it's 100%. Otherwise, he wouldn't get treatment on it. And at his age, his history with it, especially this year with his history with it, it's just not worth the risk. If you just miss games, just to sit on the sidelines until you know 100% you can get through a game without having treatment on it.
It's going to be a tough one. I don't know. Oh, I worry that he's going to ping it. I hope we'll move on from Danger and we'll start to wrap the show up. But I hope that the club looks after him. I hope Dangers understands his hamstrings well enough by now that he knows when to just pull it back. I know that was his plan on his return, that he was just going to change his style a little bit. And a lot of us, me included, were saying, I don't think he can. I think it's just instinct for him. He just sees ball, gets ball, and whatever it takes. Maybe he's done that reasonably well the last few weeks, but I wonder whether you'll be able to do that sort of moving forward. But let's move on from Danger. Let's wrap it up with your thoughts. Final thoughts on today's game, and then just give me your thoughts on Collingwood next week.
Final thoughts on today's game. Sorry, wherever you are. Just a solid win. We did the job. We did what we needed to do. Like I said, I thought Hawthorn would put up a little bit more of a fight, but not our problem. We go and beat who's in front of us. A lot of good players. Tom Stewart seems to be in form now. Duncan, Manners.
What was that? What
Dempsey,
was his name?
great.
Manor.
Manor. Yeah, there we go. We got it. 10 hours later, we got it. So it's just, I thought today was finding players that were struggling in form or keeping them in form. Jack Henry, I thought was good today. So solid win. Move it to Collingwood. Thoughts on Collingwood? Again, depending what Collingwood we get. If they bring their A game, it's going to be a scrap. We have to bring out. We have to bring our A game regardless of what they do anyway. What they bring is again not our problem. Just bring our A game, pressure them. We know what their midfield's about. It's been a weakness of ours. I think the last 2 weeks our midfield's actually been very good, against high quality opponents. Merritt for Essendon, Warple I think is a very good player for Hawthorn, whether we like them or not. So I think we've been okay in the midfield, and it ramps up again with the Dacos brothers and De Goey. But Essendon really exposed them, especially with Merritt. So I think there is a weakness there, and I think they are vulnerable. They are missing Brody Mychek, who's very important. Their best mid-sized forward. So he's very important to their structure. So that gives us an edge. I still think it's 50-50. That's why I say if we can get past Collingwood, I'm very confident we can make top 4. But I think it's going to be 50-50 because it is Collingwood at the end of the bloody day. So hopefully we can just get past them, win our last 6, our last 7 games. Lose to Freo, fine, whatever. That's everyone loses there. Make top 4, and I think it'd be happy days. And then win a final. Hopefully not against the Giants. If we do play a final, I would actually say this to the AFL. If we're playing Giants in round 1, here's the deal. We'll play this at the MCG. You give us Collingwood round 1 in Geelong in 2025.
Yep. Don't want to play Giants at home.
Yeah.
Don't want to.
No. So, but look, it is what it is. Just somehow find a way past Collingwood. If they can blow their lines, that'd be great. But actually, at the same time, you want to beat opponents at their best.
True.
Because if Collingwood are playing their A game, the Dacos brothers, DeGorry, if they bring in their A game, and if we can match them, that will give us a very good indication of where we're going to be. So I just want to just bring your A game. If they beat us, we bring your A game, too good. But just bring your A game, and hopefully we can win that and win our last 6. But it is what it is. Anyway, Ben, thank you for having me on.
Mate, I feel like that Cats Collingwood is a battle for the top 4 for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a battle for us. I think if we lose it, it's probably there's a lot of other teams around the mark that want it just as much as we do, and those are the types of games you've got to win to make the top 4. I think Collingwood probably think they can still make it even after a troublesome fortnight or so. But if we win that game, we're right in the mix for that one.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yep,
absolutely sure. Thanks for coming on again, mate.
No worries. I wish that game was in Geelong. Maybe we can work something out in the near future. Like, come on, AFL. We did exactly what you asked. Build your stadium. You'll get your teams. We've got none. So anyway, another conversation. But anyway, thank you, Ben, for having me, and thanks to the viewers. Thank you so much.
Good on you, mate. Go Cats. Have a good night. Oh, hang on. Now I've got Ethan. I think he's in the chat if he's got his camera working fine. But if not, we'll jumped in late there. Give us a hoy if you can in the next few seconds. Otherwise, I'll have to end the stream for everyone. I'll rant for a little bit and just I want to thank everyone for coming on tonight. I want to thank all the loud and proud Cats fans at the game this evening or this afternoon, whichever way you want to look at it, the twilight game. It was good. Even the Hawthorn fans that came along, they filled it up. They still haven't probably got as loud as those Saints fans in round 1. So congratulations, Saints. You're still holding the trophy for me. The loudest opposition fans at Geelong. A little disappointed that 7,000 people didn't show up. I don't know what happened there, but 33,000 out of 40 turned up tonight against Hawthorn. Really? Okay. But look, fantastic effort from the players. Things start to look like they're coming together again, which is great. I'm hoping it stays that way over the next few weeks. But we'll see. I guess we're on the ride together, everyone. Hopefully you've got faith in the Catters and you can get along to the games and cheer them along if you're able to. Hopefully we get a few surprise wins and we don't drop those ones that you don't want to drop. That's going to be tough if we do. But I think I'm feeling pretty good about things, Cats fans. I'm feeling like we're going okay, and we should be. As I said, we get past this Collingwood one. I was happy to get past Essendon, then I was happy to get past Hawthorn, and now I'm happy to get past Collingwood and feeling a bit better. I suppose I'll probably feel the same way when we come up against the Bulldogs. Even if we've won 3 in a row, I'll probably still feel a tad nervous, but that's okay. Saints fans were crazy loud, weren't they, Luke? Hopefully we'll just do enough to get through Collingwood. It'd be a bit of a gift if we beat them because they've got a lot of injuries at the moment, so we're probably not seeing them at their best. But they're a champion team. No one should ever write Collingwood off. You're not a premier you're not a premier by accident. So their best is definitely still good enough to beat every team, possibly with the exception of Sydney, I think, and Carlton. More question marks on Carlton now after losing that one. So it's an interesting season of footy this year. Everyone, I'm enjoying it. It's not been one of those years where you can sit back and just watch the Cats and just expect to win every game. It brings a bit of frustration. We've asked a lot of questions of the club, of certain players. The list is shaping up to be getting quite old, and there's opportunities for some players. There's not for others. So it's been an interesting year following the Cats. There's still a fair bit to play out still. I don't know how this is all going to end in August or September. Hopefully it's we make it to September, and hopefully we make it to the second week in September at least. I still probably have best case scenario a preliminary final. Please try to convince me otherwise if you want to. I'm underrating the Cats, and they're a lot better than that. I think probably best case scenario. Worst case scenario, we've got a little bit carried away these last couple of weeks with some nice wins against teams that's looked a little bit right for the picking, and maybe we crash down to earth a little bit and possibly still miss the finals. That's worst case scenario. I still suspect, and I said this a few weeks ago, possibly even last week, I think we sit somewhere in the middle there. It won't be 6 out of 7, which Lucas was hoping for. I don't think we're going to go on a massive losing streak either. I think we'll be okay. Stewfield will get us there, Shadu. Yes, I think it's nice to see some players finding some form. But as we know, it can disappear pretty quickly as well. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed another post-game live show on the channel. As I said, my name has been Ben Reeve, and it still is Ben Reeve, believe it or not. I enjoy having you on, all the guests and everyone who's listening via YouTube. If you're not a subscriber, please think about giving us a bit of a sub. We like that, but make sure you give the thumbs up to the video as well. And another shout out for the sponsor of the show, Valhalla Brewing, the nectar of the gods. If you're in Geelong, check out the North Geelong Brew Hall, or if you're in the CBD, the tap room there, check that out as well, especially before a game in a couple of weeks against the Bulldogs. That might be nice. Or any other time you're in there as well. So I've got Ethan on the line. Just as I'm wrapping up, Ethan, your timing is perfect. If you're ready to go, give me a thumbs up and I'll chuck you on. I think you're good to go. Hopefully you can hear me. All right, I'm throwing you on anyway, so hopefully you're ready. Here we go. There he is.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Let's give this a try. Sorry, my connection to this hotel is not as good as it was last week, but great win. This is a game that I had circled for literally months, like as one of the most important of the year, and the Hawks had really rounded into form. I was really concerned, and I think obviously Sicily going down changed their structure. No Ginnivan meant that it was much easier for Tom Stewart, who I don't know how that would have. I think he still would have had the upper hand because I love the way he's been playing lately. And rotating him in and out of the middle has been a great call. But I think it would have been a little bit tougher. You know, Seamus Mitchell wasn't exactly a like for like. And
yeah,
we caught them on a day where they were due for a little regression. And I thought we played one of our most complete games. Like, I've got a really tough time trying to order guys for a Brownlow voted coach's vote because I think there are so many guys you can make a case for. You know, a lot of the usual suspects between guys like Cameron and Stewart. DeConing had a monster first half. It's hard to believe that, 14, 15 days ago, we got absolutely bullied in the ruck. Because Meek did not play poorly. He got the better of him, though. Yeah. First half, he was excellent. Second half, okay, not amazing, but more than good enough. I mean, just for him to even be a passable ruckman would be enough, and he's been much more than passable. But what scared me was that midfield, and we really didn't have much trouble with him. Day had a few good moments early, and that was about it. I think Jack Bowes was the best midfielder in this game.
Oh, okay.
I know it was efficiency high, but I really liked the way he played. I thought this was the best he's played against like a really high-level opponent, because say what you will about that team, that midfield is good, and he made them look very, very weak tonight. So I thought
Hawthorn looked rubbish tonight. I'm going to say it straight up. I'm not going to.
Oh, they were. They were
sugarcoat it. They were terrible tonight. They were terrible. And Geelong, as you said, we were on. Hawthorn wasn't on. I think if you play this game next week, you'd probably see a very different. I won't say a different outcome. It'll play out very differently.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be a lot closer.
Yeah, I think the guys that were, we could have won this game by 80 if we were hitting our set shots. So good night to not hit them. I'm not going to worry about percentage. I'm just going to worry about banking 4 points. Yeah. All sorts of little things that concern me. Our tackling was better tonight. I thought the two guys that I've been really critical of defensively, Jack Henry and Jake Kolajashny, both really brought it. I thought this was Jack Henry's best game of the year.
I was going to ask. You knew I was going to ask you this because you're not. He's not your man, Jack Henry, and you've said this many weeks now. You've come on the show, and you haven't been too critical of him, but he hasn't been your favourite player. So Take
He
the
gave up
time
one
to.
late. That was like it. There was one other lead he got beat on. He was really solid. And then he was good at getting the ball. We didn't have too many times where we had to get it out of our own 50, but he's very good with that. And then Sean Manna, why was he not in sooner? That was ridiculous.
Mm.
And
Make
then
him earn it. Make him earn it.
The way that Lawson Humphreys and Mitch Duncan kind of played off each other, where they kind of traded off at times. It was Humphreys didn't like blow me away like he did last week, but that was just because he had less to do. And that's because Duncan, these last couple weeks, has just played way better. He's found a second gear. He's found more speed. And I don't know how much of that is, him trying to finish strong, how much of that is a benefit from the guys around him being better. But I think there's kind of like a passing of the torch moment there that we're kind of watching. And it's cool to have those two playing together. Because I think in time, we're going to see Humphreys doing a lot more of that.
You wait till they start looking for Humphreys a lot more. His teammates barely kick it to him, and he had 17 touches tonight. He looks incredible when he gets it. I think as he gets more opportunities in this team, his teammates are going to probably look to him a little bit more. And he's a great kicker of the football. 14 kicks out of his 17 touches tonight. Clearly, the coaches have said, get it on the boot. He will get better and better and better the more games he plays. Wait till he plays 50 games of footy. He's going to be incredible.
Yeah. And I think teammates are finally realizing that with Brad Close. It's like, look what happens when he gets the ball. No matter where he gets it.
Oh, Brad's got the ball. Goal.
Yeah. We're going to score every time. And I thought Jeremy Cameron did a fabulous job, especially considering that he missed the set shots early.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 3 behinds in the first 3 minutes of clock time, and that really didn't rattle him at all. And I thought this was honestly one of his best games of the year. Like, take your pick. I don't know. Try to rank our guys like Max Holmes and Zach Guthrie, who have been so consistent all year. You could argue that they weren't in our top 10 players, which is a great problem to have. I
agree. I wouldn't put them in the top 10 tonight.
And then on the other side, I mean, outside of Dylan Moore, we really didn't face much. Moore was their one shining spot.
I'll bring up the graphic again. So we had Dylan Moore with 2 goals, 1 and 26 touches. Warple was good at times. And I really like Jared Impey didn't get, is it Jarman Impey? Sorry, I think it said Jared. Jarman Impey didn't get heaps of it, but he's a very good one-on-one contested ball player. He impressed me when I watched him live tonight. He's okay when I watch him on the TV, but on live he looked really good.
I get that. But all the things that worried me about this game, I thought we were good at just not allowing too much damage when they got inside 50. And we didn't let the first quarter inaccuracy beat us. This was just a really complete performance. And I love that even if clearances were about even for the game, it felt like we had the upper hand in that department because we were always making that next play. And it was cool to get some hitouts to advantage for once.
Comment in the chat from Strider Knight says, I think he's talking about you. You're sort of right. He was at the Sydney game. They were at the Sydney game in the VFL, and Lawson looked like he was just another Mitch Duncan, near perfect like-for-like replacement. I've thought that as well. He just looks like Mitch Duncan and plays that way, and probably will be a bit more creative and daring than Mitch. Mitch is a pretty solid player, good use of the football, but Lawson looks like he wants to take the game on a little bit more.
Oh, and it wasn't as pronounced as last week, but I thought it was another just high-quality Mark Blitzop's game. I thought last week he was brilliant, but this week he was just like, this is the version of Mark Blitzop's that we should expect to see.
Oh, he was good tonight. I don't think we've really talked about the Blitzov's game, but this was due, and I'm really, really glad he brought it tonight against the old enemy in Hawthorn. I think him playing really well just completely transforms his team.
It felt good to put that team in their place, considering how bright their future is. Got to get our list where we can. There are going to be some more ripping games ahead against them, so I'm glad that right now we've got it in their heads that we're on top, and hopefully that'll weigh them down in future meetings. Which let's just keep sticking it to them. feels good. We had a great round. I know a couple of the games maybe didn't help us ladder-wise, but for all three of Hawthorn, Collingwood, and Carlton to lose, that's a pretty good weekend of football to me.
Oh, I think so. I think we'd be pretty happy with the result. We get a win. The big one is there's a couple of big games. It's Collingwood and Fremantle. Those will be the games that'll probably shape the top four to a large degree. You know, if we win against Collingwood, we give ourselves a chance, regardless of whether we beat Freo. We lose both of those games, we're not making top four. I don't think so anyway.
Yeah, and still got to take care of the Bulls. I know we've had a great history against them, but there's always a world where Bontempelli just gives you like 45 because he's just unbelievable.
Who do you like best at the moment, Cripps or Bontempelli?
Bontempelli, I mean, Cripps was brilliant tonight. He was their one guy that really played the whole game, but I don't know. There's just something every time I'm watching Bont where I just don't think people appreciate enough what he's doing. Like he's the type.
You go. Sorry.
He's the type of guy who like rappers should be dropping his name in songs.
If anyone is out there and thinks they're okay putting some music together, I would love you to throw that into a song and I'll share it on the socials. Oh, that'd be good. How do we get some Geelong players in that? Can we get Kolodashny in there as well?
Throw in a reference to Smith's grand final performance. Throw in something about Selwood. Just start dropping as many names as you can.
Hawkins ragdolling Ben Reid in the 2011 grand final. That'll be nice.
Go with some deep cuts too, like a Quentin Narkle name drop.
That'd be nice. James Parsons elbowing Luke Hodge name drop. That'd be nice. I got 2 weeks for that. That was years ago. I don't condone violence, clearly, but when it's Hawthorn, I don't know. No, clearly not.
Yeah, it's like when someone knocks Braden Maynard around, it's like, as long as he's not hurt, good on you.
He's hard to hurt, Braden Maynard.
Yeah. I also just thought our composure tonight was really sharp. A couple of moments where we could have gotten a little rattled. We were the more mature team.
We were challenged, weren't we? We were challenged at points and we responded. I think Hawks got a couple of goals in a row at one stage. I don't think they kicked three. No, I don't think so.
I don't think they ever got more than 2 in a row. But that end of the first quarter scared me. And then just like, all right, we're just going to keep doing our thing. So pretty much full marks. This will be a fun one to review. I think that you can find like individual moments for just about every player. I mean, I seriously can't think of a negative individual performance for us.
We had a bit of This Is How We Do It tonight. Brian Myers kicked the goal and they played Montel Jordan's This Is How We Do It. That was rocking around the stadium tonight. A lot of comments in the chat that they're not a fan of music between goals, but
I don't mind
these players have It's a thing that we say in Australia that it's very American, and while we like a lot of American sports, we want this to be a very native sport to Australia. And so some people, I'm not probably with that, but some people want to get rid of that. I like it for a few of the players, like Zach Tui bringing the Irish jig. That was a bit of fun, and it was very very Geelong thing to do. But yeah,
I would have liked for Brian, like the song that Argentina used during the World Cup. That would have made more sense.
You've been traveling around the world, is that right?
Just around the country. I am going to be back home on Monday, but presently in Utah, enjoying the mountains.
Mm-hmm. Enjoying some soccer, football, world football,
baseball. But I did go in Miami to one of the Copa America games, which
nice.
It was my friend's bachelor party. He's a huge Argentina fan, so it was pretty neat.
Very good. and you wore your messy, your grind Myers something. What was the top of your t-shirt or something like that? Yeah, I think
it was the
I saw
the
him.
shirt.
All right, final thoughts. I've got to wrap the show up. So have you got any final thoughts for me on the game, or any thoughts on the next few weeks at least anyway?
I wish our worst stretch hadn't come against so many of the teams that we're competing with and need to be able to get over if we're going to make a real run. But I think we've moved past it. These last 2 weeks, we've looked a lot more like ourselves.
We're starting to find ourselves again, aren't we? It's a different version of from round 7 when we had our last win in that streak. It's a different Geelong. I think that's probably true. And what Geelong looks like in round 24, we don't know, but feels like a change is afoot.
I think this is a little more sustainable. I mean, there are guys that we're starting to see. I wish it had happened sooner, but we're starting to see some of the long-term pieces in the passing of the torch. And to do that and get those guys in while winning, it's pretty special. Most teams don't get to do that, you know? Bringing in the new core usually isn't such an easy transition.
Getting some love in the chat there too, Ethan, from either moment. Love hearing Ethan's insight. He's a great feel for the game. Definitely.
Thanks.
That's why we pay you so much money to come on the show, Ethan.
Oh, yeah.
Checks in the mail.
So I'm staying at a 5-star hotel.
Exactly. The special comments and the insights and the analytics is what we love. Mate, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you for figuring out the tech issues there at the end. We just got you there. I was just about to hit the off button, but you made it. And I think a few people would have been very disappointed if we didn't get you on. Hopefully, if you're watching this live, you've enjoyed it. If you're watching this on replay, after you've watched the Cats-Hawks replay, then hopefully you've stayed around long enough to watch these. And you know what I should do, mate, is I should put some timestamps in these videos so that people can just jump to the bit that they want to, the guests that they love the most. They can just click in that 1 hour, 45-minute mark, and here he is. I've just frozen on you there, mate. But anyway, I'll say goodbye. That'll do us for tonight, I think. Thank you again for coming on. And go Cats. We'll see you on the next one. I think he's lost me. All right, that's it. I'm done for the night. It's been, what is it now? It's just gone 12 o'clock. So thank you, everyone, for sticking with me this long. I think there's still a few people in the chat there. Thanks for all the fun chat. I'm enjoying reading the comments as they come up. I'm sorry I don't get to read them all. I didn't get Paul on tonight. Paul is at a bachelor party. He's absolutely intoxicated, like you wouldn't believe at the moment, singing karaoke. Hopefully, he's taken some video of it that he can share on socials through the week. I would love to see what his go-to song is. I suspect it's "Girl, I Want to Make You Sweat," sweat until you something. So maybe that's what he's rocked with tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Well, hopefully we'll get some. I'll send him a message now and see if he can take some video of himself belting out a couple of numbers there. That'd be lovely. But thank you to everyone again. A quick wind up now because I've already wound it up just before Ethan came on. Go Catters, and we'll play the song out to finish the show. So everyone, take care.